Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, and this is Movie Suggestions Friday. If you are the guy who spends hours looking for the perfect movie or TV show to watch while your dinner is getting cold, then this series is for you. In my last video, I shared 8 of my favorite movies that I think you should watch, and this time I got another 8 movies, but this time they're all animated movies. And do not let the animated movies fool you, they are one of the best storytelling movies out there. So let's start. On number 8, we have 5 centimeters per second. This movie is set in somewhat a real world and not a fantasy world, and the pace of the movie depicts closely the day-to-day life we all go through. This movie is split in 3 parts and closely follows the story of a young boy called Takaki. The story depicts his early childhood, teenage years, and adulthood, and how his past affects his future and how he becomes the person he is and how he reaches to that point. But in every part, Takaki misses the love he once felt in his childhood. And the visuals and storytelling is the main focus here. There is no action in this movie, but the visuals are just so amazing. Like even a simple visual like a girl waiting for Takaki to arrive on a train station while it snows looks so beautiful that you want it to be in real life. I highly recommend that you watch this movie in the highest quality possible that you can get, because the visuals are feast for your eyes and the storytelling and music is a feast for your heart. On number 7, we have A Silent Voice. I don't actually know how to summarize this movie to be exact, because I have never talked about anything before that holds the heavy themes that this movie holds. This movie is about suicide, self loathing, self reflection, bullying, and friendship at all above. This movie follows a young kid in high school who is thinking about suicide, and as he's about to take a step off a bridge, he looks back at his days in middle school where he first met a girl named Shoko. This girl Shoko communicates with everybody on a notebook because she's deaf. Not being able to understand her, he bullies her. He bullies to the point he takes away the notebook she uses to communicate with everybody. One day he takes out her hearing aid so fast that it makes her ear bleeds and renders the hearing aid useless. And when he is made to apologize to her and her parents in principal's office and sees the huge amount of money that his mother has to pay her in order to replace the hearing aid, he realizes the mistake he has made, and then he goes into self-reflection and self-loathing. Soon after that, he is transferred to a high school where he becomes the one who gets bullied. He walks around the school making no eye contact, looking at the floor and having his hands over his ears, trying to keep the voices out. And that's what leads to him jumping off to the bridge. But before he does that, he realizes that he wanted to give Shoko the notebook back. So he tracks her and finds her to give the notebook back, and he asks her only one question that he could manage to learn in sign language. He asks her to be his friend. And despite going through all of the things, all of the bullying, she says yes. And at that point, the whole life of the boy changes. The animation and voice acting is so good that it boosts every emotion to 1000% that the writer and director are trying to portray here. I would only suggest you watch this movie if you can confront your emotions, because this movie will invoke emotions in you that you didn't even know were there. And on number 6, we have Suzume. Suzume is a movie by Makoto Shinkai, and if you do not know who this person is, well, you will get to know by the end of this video, because Makoto has created such masterpiece that he is loved in the animated movie community. And there are 2 other movies on his list by Makoto Shinkai. And this movie closely follows the story of a 17-year-old girl who one day randomly follows a very suspicious man who looks very out of the place, and that leads her to an abandoned place where she finds a door in the middle of nowhere. Literally just a door and a frame. No wall, no nothing, just a door standing there with nothing behind, nothing in front. And as she opens the door leads to different dimensions. Some magically beautiful, some very dangerous. And the magic of the movie lies in the mystery, because we get to experience this story and adventure through eyes of this young lady. As she reaches there and does not know what the door does, we don't know. Until and unless she gets to know what the door does, we don't get to know. So the mystery is always there, and we are always trying to make sense of what is happening. And the visuals again here are just a masterpiece. There will be scenes you will be saying out loud, wow, and you cannot help it. And the next movie on the list is called The Boy and the Heron. Well, this movie is so weird that it's really good. I know, a weird combination of words, but it is true. This story follows closely a boy named Mahito who just moves to a new house with his dad and his new mother. And soon after moving there, he's pestered by a bird Heron who even comes into his dreams. Following the bird, Mahito enters an abandoned tower in the property, which leads to another dimension, which happens to be door to another dimension, which closely resembles the dimension he was in before, but filled with magical creatures. And from there, the more we try to make sense of the movie, the more complicated it gets. It's just a masterpiece that the director wants you to sit back and relax and enjoy as everything starts to make sense towards the end. And visuals are done very nicely here, the storytelling is done very nicely, and it's just a light movie that you can watch anytime. And on number 4, we have another movie by Makoto Shinkai called Weathering with You. And this movie closely follows a story of a young boy and girl called Hadaka and Hina. And Hadaka is a runaway boy from home who is having financial difficulties and meets Hina in a McDonald's where she works. One day, Haraka finds Hina being harassed by a thug and he goes to help her, and that's where their friendship starts. Soon after that, both realizes that Hina is a weather maiden and she can control the weather. As she's a weather maiden, her place is in the clouds. And not being there, the Japan country is under constant rain 24/7 to a point where the Japan is sinking into the sea. And after realizing this, Hina accepts her fate and leaves her body to go to the clouds. And Hadaka, stubborn on the friendship that they had, follows her and brings her back from the heaven. And the animation is the real point here. The studio and the artists are showing off their talent and huge budget on our face, and it's just amazing. Every drop of rain, every scene is just so beautiful that you cannot explain into the words. You just have to see it. And I hope you get to see it in the best quality possible because the animation is that good. And on number 3, we have a movie called Your Name. Makoto Shinkai does it once again. And in this movie, the story closely follows a young boy and a girl who live across Japan into two completely different cities, but they exchange souls every other day. Meaning that the girl gets transferred into boy's body and the boy gets transferred into girl's body, and they live each other's life for a day on random pace. And as they're trying to figure out who they are by leaving notes on hands, phone, notebooks, and they soon realize that there's gonna be a meteor that's gonna struck the town of the lady, and the boy from across the country tries to help and reach her in order to help her evacuate her town and save her. And then there lies a twist that I think nobody ever was expecting. And through that point, the whole aspect of the movie changes. The setting of the movie, the tone of the movie completely changes into mystery. And it leaves the viewers on a very high note. And it's one worth watch every time. And on number 2, we have Howl's Moving Castle. This movie follows the story of a young girl who is living an uneventful life at her father's hat shop. But all of that changes when she befriends a magical Howl who lives in a moving castle. As she gets close to the Howl and the castle, this relationship is not liked by an evil spirit that lives in the Howl, and then she casts a spell onto the young lady, turning her into an old lady, ripping her off of her youth and beauty. And now Howl must do everything in his power to bring her back. This movie does not connect each and every dot for you and leaves viewers' imagination to do the major part. And because of that, this is one of the most praised movie out there, and it is favorite of almost all actors out there, and it is favorite of a lot of people, even though if they are not into animated movies. This movie is worth watch of every second. And on number 1 is Spirited Away. I will not say anything about this movie, and I will just say that this is a movie that everyone has to experience once, because this movie is just like a roller coaster ride. Nobody can explain it to you how you feel on the roller coaster ride, because everybody feels different. And just like at the end of every roller coaster ride, you will be happy and satisfied that you did take the ride. If I could make one suggestion, I would say watch this movie with an empty mind, free of any other person's opinion, and to create your own opinion of this movie, as this movie affects everybody in a different way. I don't want to share any details of the movie because I want you guys to experience it on a blank slate and write your own impressions on it. The reason this movie is on number 1, because this movie is held as a standard, and every movie is compared to this movie in order to rank it. This movie is that good. Well, that being said, that was it about this section of movie suggestions. I'll be back again next Friday bringing you another set of movies with a different genre, different kind of storytelling, and hope you can find one or two movies out of this list that you can watch over the weekend. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe to my YouTube channel where I post full videos. I do Tech News Thursday or TNT on Thursday. I'll be doing movie reviews every Friday, and on the rest of the weeks I do other game reviews, live stream on gaming on my YouTube and Twitch channel. So please make sure to subscribe and go catch me live on Twitch. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.